Hi, this is Sunny back with another video. Today I would like to talk about scalpers or price gougers. I personally call them the cyber highwaymen. They call themselves resellers, although that would be a euphemism, although we live in the era of euphemisms. As far as I know, resellers originally meant people who were checking out garage sales or flea markets for hot deals or good bargains, buying stuff cheap and then selling them somewhere else for their actual or estimated value. Another example would be a used car dealer buying old cars, maybe spare parts, fixing the cars, pretty them up, and then selling them for a higher price, making a profit. These activities, however, require a good amount of knowledge and a keen eye for profitable deals. As this might be too much effort for some people, they resort to a more convenient method, namely plundering online stores, thus creating an artificial rarity or scarcity of the particular items and then selling them for an inflated price. This phenomenon manifested itself first among the sneaker scene and then spread over the other sectors like gaming consoles, toys, etc. And over the last 2 years, these highwaymen have become even more impudent by now selling pre-orders on eBay or other platforms, even pre-orders for items which haven't been even out for pre-order by the particular companies. Now, some of you might wonder how the hell can they be so bold offering items that they do not even possess yet, or how can they be so certain to actually acquire these when they are sold out so quickly? This is because almost all online stores use a rather inefficient way to prevent resellers, respectively anyone, from purchasing larger quantities of limited items. Usually, the amount allowed per account is limited to 1 to 5. Scalpers, however, use bot applications which simultaneously operate dozens of alternate customer accounts, each equipped with credit card details, billing addresses, etc. So instead of just one purchase, a scalper is theoretically able to accomplish multiple orders. And even if for some reason only 5 or 6 out of those 20 or 30 accounts he controls are successfully completing the transaction, that's still plenty. Since the accounts of those bot programs try to access a server multiple times within a second, in fact, they can complete a checkout in about 2/10 of a second. This can also cause issues compared to a so-called DDoS attack. A DDoS, or distributed denial of service, means the server is facing a very high amount of traffic, more than it can actually handle, which will cause a jam or even the server becoming unreachable or total system freeze. This could be observed with the dilemma of the PowerCon 2021, for example, where fans could not access the page for up to 30 minutes, and when the servers were back online, the exclusives were mostly sold out. Now, what could be methods to effectively deter scalpers or making them lose interest in buying a certain product? One potential option could be the limited time exclusive or the made to order exclusive, meaning companies offer a certain product for a limited time. That's what Mondo Shop has done with their 40th anniversary He-Man, which was available for 24 or 48 hours. Mattel did the same with some of their products, offering them for 24 or 48 hours. And as a matter of fact, their service didn't lock up and people had no issues successfully ordering their items. If at all, they should increase the time frame to about a week or two, and also place ads a month in advance to get people aware of their offering. A limitedly effective yet very funny method, and therefore worth an honorable mentioning, is from a skate shop from Frankfurt am Main in Germany. The shop was frequently troubled by scalper bots during their sales launches. While the shop had about 50 items of a certain product in stock, they had to face about 700,000 accesses per minute on their server. This could lead to an oversale of the particular item because the system could not update fast enough and the server eventually freezing entirely. Their method on one occasion was to sell photo prints of a certain sneaker instead of the actual sneakers. This led to one single reseller buying the photo prints 100 times for 70 euros each, leading to $7,000 in photo prints sold. And the sales were legit because the photo prints were described as such correctly. Unfortunately, this method would most likely be ineffective nowadays as bot programs and their algorithms become more and more sophisticated, being able to identify such decoys. The best method would be, though, if the governments would finally step in to contain this problem. Unfortunately, the governments currently only step in when it's about essentials, like they stopped two brothers from selling overpriced bottles of hand sanitizers during the COVID pandemic in 2020. What governments might ignore here, though, is that with all the scalping, a lot of tax dodging might occur as well. There are reports of scalpers becoming millionaires eventually, and there are enough on YouTube bragging with their alleged income. Of course, there might be some of them who have been smart enough to get a business number or opening up a store themselves, like the guy in the documentary of the Financial Times, who claims to have made $20 million within 4 years. Link is in the description below. So I give him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm sure there are plenty of others out there who don't get taxed for ripping off other consumers. And to identify those wouldn't be all that difficult, and even with upholding confidentiality. For example, the revenue office of each individual country could approach eBay and ask them for a list of accounts with the names not shown being encrypted, only showing their activities and if they have a business or not. Then the offices could filter the accounts which have revenues higher than the maximum tax-free income within the particular country. And as a matter of fact, this could be done with a simple Excel file containing all the data, and then using the sum and sum if function to find the accounts which are suspicious. The revenue office should then consult the court for getting a warrant in order for eBay to hand out these IDs of the accounts so that they can be investigated. And these are topics which should be discussed by the World Trade Organization or World Economic Forum, but those seem to be more occupied with figuring out how to divide the world among a few big corp. Now, before I close this video, I'm aware that some individuals concerned might crawl out of the woodwork in order to attack me. So any name calling and slurs will be deleted and reported as soon as possible. So I would suggest that you stick to arguments only if you have any. So regarding arguments, I would advise you to also think about them before you write a comment. So I will point out a few right away. The first which comes to my mind is people accusing me of being jealous. Well, I met a few self-made millionaires in the past. They had a good idea of a product or a service which people might need, which customers might need. And they put in hard work into it, and eventually they became millionaires, making a fortune. There was one self-made millionaire which provided a kind of dodgy service, claiming a lot of taxpayers' money. So that would be a questionable one, but all the others actually had pretty normal businesses. This is something entirely else of what you contribute to society, so I'm not really jealous of that. And the other argument might be that it's not necessary for me to buy these items and not required. Well, while this might be true to some degree, I wonder what's more unnecessary. Me buying those items or you ripping off other people, thus taking money you actually do not deserve. Also, last time I checked the chain of distribution, does not contain scalper in it. They're producers, wholesalers, retailers, and of course the customers or consumers, but scalper doesn't show up there. Chances are also high that you are living in Western society, which is a failing society. Failing because the jobs that actually should be picked up are not. What we need are plumbers, electricians, mechanics, fitters, bricklayers, roofers, carpenters, nurses. I think you get the idea. The regular 9-to-5s, that's what societies are in dire need of. And yes, that concerns you as well if you live in any of those societies. So you better start thinking straight before the shit hit the fan. And it will, sooner than you might think. Because the greed and lack of ethics will backlash rather sooner than later. On the other hand, if each one thinks of nothing but himself, everyone will be thought of in the end, right? See you again next video.